have, a multi-million dollar soundstage and everything else, but, you put a lousy band on that same stage and you're going to have, multi-million dollar garbage.
I know from playing with these guys that distance kills your chemistry. When you have a big stage, you better have a lot of charisma to be able to, take that electricity from each member and be able to fill a big stage like that. When the people in the upper tier are standing, not sitting, there's something to be said for it.
I think the live experience with Bon Jovi, I don't know if you ever saw them in concert, but it's just, that guy really knows how to command an audience, and that's great.
The summer of 2001, Bon Jovi actually did 2 nights at Giant Stadium, not just 1. And both nights sold out. They probably could have added a 3rd.
What was the one where he simulcasted it on TV?
Oh, that was the one.
Was the one.
Yeah. They showed it on VH1 for like the next month or 2 months. And again, I just think it's a matter of, being able to have that kind of continuity where the people who were at Giant Stadium in 1989 are now bringing their 14-year-old kids.
Despite stepping out of the limelight after the epic 256 performances of the New Jersey tour, the massive Bon Jovi fan base endured. In fact, fans from the early 80s are still as loyal today, not to mention the new generation of fans they have nurtured.
Fans were young, they were old like me, some Bon Jovi fans from way back when, from his early days. So it was a great mix of crowds, people bringing their kids.
And that's a sign they'll be popular for a while too. If younger people are liking them now, it's probably going to be like that forever. Just like the Beatles. My parents always listened to the Beatles. Now we still listen to them. Same with the Doors and Led Zeppelin. It's like it passes on from generation to generation. And I think Bon Jovi is one of the bands that could do that.
And my 10-year-old nephew the other day was telling me about how great the Bounce album is. I loved him before, but after those comments, he's just like the apple of my eye.
That's amazed me. The fact that my friends, who are a couple of years older than me, have teenagers as kids, and they're running around with the latest copy of Bounce and trying to steal Bon Jovi music off the internet. And it's like, wow, it's been almost 20 years.
Undoubtedly, Bon Jovi have worked hard to maintain this following. Most fans believe they give so much back and seldom disappoint.
They block out the first 10 rows of every concert they do for fan club members. And I mean, there are not a lot of other bands that do that and that offer that kind of privilege.
A lot of the other artists that we work with from time to time, when they reach that level of success, they just get amnesia. And John has never gotten amnesia. He recognizes that the people that were there early on are the people that certainly need to be recognized now.
When the band were recording Crush at Sanctuary 2, John's private home studio, they set up Bon Jovi TV. This gave their fans unique access to the entire recording process and an opportunity to interact with their heroes.
I think that's pretty fascinating for a band to offer that kind of privilege to their fans, to be able to see in. I think that's one of the greatest things about Bon Jovi is that they really concentrate on keeping up a good rapport with the people who are interested in them. They really try and give their fans everything they can. Well, I'm sure that every band has their diehard that knows what kind of underwear the lead singer prefers wearing, or knows what they like to eat, or what they like on their pizza. But I think Bon Jovi fans take it to a bit of an extreme. I mean, their staff has been quoted as calling Bon Jovi fans like the CIA. I have passed the house and I've seen people standing on his bushes, leaning over to get pictures and stuff. Meanwhile, he's had to replant those bushes 3 times. It's probably because people trample all over them.
But for most fans, they have never disappointed.
Well, all right, so I'm not in the band. All right, they let me down there, have to say. I think I might have proposed to John or Richie 1 or 2 times. Okay, they let me down there too. But other than that,
Isn't there that restraining order?
Yeah, there might be.
Perhaps the ultimate in being a fan is to directly mimic your idols.
My my original drummer, John Capadona, and I, we would go out and do karaoke a lot. and I would do Bon Jovi and stuff. And one day he's like, "Steve, why aren't you in a Bon Jovi tribute band?" And he's like, "Well, you know what? I know a few guys. Let's check it out. Let's try it out." And a week later, we got together and we had a rehearsal and we formed Band Medicine.
I gathered all the tapes that I could possibly get of the band Bon Jovi live and just studied them. And I already had the voice down and the nuances in the, you know, the vowels and stuff. But watching the tapes really brought it all together. It just, you know, made me see what he was doing and how he incorporated the choruses with his movement.
I got the same guitar and setup that Richie has, and I'm a blues guitar player, so my roots are in the blues. So it was more easy for me to emulate Richie because he plays very soulfully, plays a lot of blues scales, a lot of pentatonic scales.
All right, well, let's see. This is one outfit. These red flat pants with the black shirt.
I sat down with all the Bon Jovi albums and just studied Richie and tried to get as much as I could from him. And I love the way he plays. It's a pleasure to try to emulate him.
This makes me very happy, doing Bon Jovi. What's up now? Show me the way to the water. Yeah, baby! I'm totally psyched.
And up and down the New Jersey shoreline, new young talent is still being motivated by the Bon Jovi legend.
Kind of gives them a goal. They see that Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen made it by playing venues like that. They kind of, I think, try to follow in the footsteps, and that's a way to do it, is to say, hey, we want to try to play the Stone Pony one day. I mean, even talking to some of these local bands and artists, that's one of their goals, is to eventually get in there and do something like that, just because they've seen it done and they've seen it work for somebody else.
And you see it actually happen a lot, like probably within the last 3 or 4 months, a couple local original artists have been signed to, like, you know, national record labels. You know, guys that we've seen play like around here, not only places like in Asbury Park, but, you know, other just like bars up and down the shore.
So I mean, if New Jersey was never on the map before in regard to music, right there it tells you that's how much talent is here.
Something in the water.
It could be.
Bon Jovi toured non-stop until the end of the 80s. John even found time to run off to Las Vegas, marrying his long-term love, Dorothea. Their fans wanted more and more, but the band needed a break.
The New Jersey was rushed. It was a rush job, and it was an even bigger album than Slippery When Wet was. It produced many more hits, sold more albums. The tour was lasted forever. These guys totally burnt themselves out on New Jersey. The fact that there was a Bon Jovi after New Jersey is practically a miracle.
I mean, if the guys hadn't actually put their foot down, the New Jersey tour would still be going on 15 years later.
They all returned to their native New Jersey. Although they were now playing with Harleys and Porsches, not much else had changed.
Go out around town and run into one of them. You know, you don't hear stuff about U2 like that, or Madonna, or, you know, some of the bigger name bands.
They're from fucking Jersey. I mean, there's not a lot of assholes that come out of New Jersey, believe me. I had run into John a few months back. I was going into a bookstore and he was coming out with his wife, and I hadn't seen him for a couple months. And he was getting in his car, and I pulled up and said, "Why don't you get a fucking job?" And he turned around, and I was like, and we talked, you know, hung out a little bit. And when I went into the bookstore, you know, everybody was just like, I'm like, what? And they're like, "John Bon Jovi was just in here." I'm like, all right, whatever, relax. But it was just John going to a fucking bookstore.
Actually, a couple of days ago, though, we were eating lunch at Red Bank, a restaurant, and he had walked by with his wife, so I guess they were shopping or something like that. But a lot of people know who he is, and they don't want to bother him too much because he's kind of a local guy. He's from Sayreville, and he never left his roots. He never went to California or some other state, and didn't pretend to live in New Jersey. He's never said, you know, he's never put New Jersey down. So I think that's a big thing with him. I think that's why a lot of people do like him.
John, as rock star, is only one of his personas. He is a much-loving husband and father to his 3 children, as well as being a dedicated Giants football fan.
Oh, the Giants. The Giants named a play after them.